Hello, Claire. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, Claire Cammaert, ADP. So nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to see me today.
My pleasure.
Okay. Is it okay if I take a seat?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just take out my notes. Okay, I would like to start with giving you my business card.
I have that already. You can. You gave it to me the last time.
Yeah, I know, but just to be sure,
Okay.
because I really want you to, if there's anything wrong, I just want you to give me a call, because I'm your partner in this relationship, so I really want you to, if there's something wrong, that you are able to call me.
I wish I had thought of that last week.
Well, I hope to get out of the way all our concerns in this meeting.
Okay.
I know we're on a tight schedule today.
20 minutes.
Okay. Well, if it's okay by you, I would like to put my watch down and just keep track of time.
Sure,
okay?
that works for you. That's perfect.
Okay. Here we go. So, yeah, I'm very glad that we can sit together today and just talk about how the process went for you.
Mm-hmm.
So the objective of this meeting is actually to make sure that I understand how the process went for you, also to address some of your concerns and maybe to help you to improve the program and the system towards the future. Is that okay?
That's acceptable, yeah.
Okay, so as you told me, we are on a tight schedule, so I took the liberty to put up an agenda for the day.
Perfect.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to go through, as I said, the implementation process. So to see how it went for you, how the implementation went, how did you put your data in, and so on. So make sure that that went okay for you. Then I wanted to address some of your questions and concerns, because I know you called me on the phone. You looked a little concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You sounded a little concerned. So I wanted to get those out of the way as well. And then I would like to validate your expectations for the future. Maybe some of your goals have changed. I know you've been talking about expanding or hiring extra people, so just really get a clear image of that. And with those elements in mind, I would like to determine further steps to develop our relationship, our partnership.
Okay, perfect.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's sounds good.
Okay, great. Do you mind if I take some notes?
I would encourage you to.
Okay. Well, actually, I would like to, just to get on the same page, I would like to start by doing a small recap of our last meeting. Is that okay?
Perfectly fine.
So I have prepared this nice slide for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about some concerns last time, about some of your goals as well, and I just numbered them here nicely. So first of all, you talked about your payroll and your time cards. Okay. So you said that it took you a lot of time to calculate the payroll, but also to keep track of the time cards. You make sure that everything's in order and place. So we really want to keep track of that with our system, and that was your first concern. Then second concern was taxation. I understand that you were also taking some time to calculate the tax. It was about 5 hours a month, so we wanted to get that down. But also you said that you were sometimes a little concerned that you weren't in compliance with the regulations because they are always changing. So that was another concern of yours. Is that okay?
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you also mentioned that there was some mistakes and additional information loss because of the shop with Kim as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to keep track of those as well. And last winter you mentioned that there was a harsh winter, so there was a lot of overtime because your people had to go and install new warmth and coolers,
Mm-hmm.
more warmth, and so there was a complicated payroll because of overtime, different pay rates, and you didn't really get a clear overview. Am I right?
Yes, that's good.
Mm-hmm. And then the last but not least, you said that you mentioned that you were, which is good, business was good, and you were planning on hiring new people and maybe even opening a new branch.
So the new branch opens up.
Oh, so how's that going, the new branch?
It opens up in about a week.
Oh, in a week, wow.
Yeah, and we've already hired. Start dates are the day we open, which is about a week from now.
Okay, and how many people?
It'll be 6.
Okay, great. So that's a great challenge, right? A new branch. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Just there's questions around how we'll get people to find it, but no, I mean with regard to the hiring of the new branch, I think it's busy, but everything's going I think as good as it possibly could.
Okay, great. That's great. So in regard to the recap of last time, are there any concerns or any ideas that you have that you'd like me to know or that you'd like me to talk about?
With regard to last time, or just going forward?
With regard to last time and maybe also going forward, just things that you think about right now that you say, yeah, I would like to mention this.
Okay, well, if you put it that way, the implementation, I know you had that as one of your agendas, and that went fine. There were no issues that I recall from the actual implementation.
Mm-hmm.
But after I did the one payroll we've run already,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, I did something where I kept typing the wrong keyboard, whether the caps lock was on or whatever. I'm not entirely sure, but I locked myself out of the system. And in hindsight, I could have called you for a quicker understanding, but I didn't of what to do. But I finally did call into the office to the support line and get that resolved. So, I took care of that. But kind of what came out of that was some thought about the system not being available.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, in this case, it wasn't available because of me. Well, to take a step back from that, because I made those mistakes, Kim and I started talking a little bit more about the use of ADP and kind of how the first run went and how the staff is sort of merging into this new process of manually entering either on the web or via telephone their hours. And the feedback from him was that the staff was they were feeling a bit like we were micromanaging them.
Okay.
And they felt as though, or they're feeling as though we don't trust them. And these are employees that we've had for some time, right? And so that sort of hit on morale, if you will, or reduction of positive morale has led to lower quality of work, in Kim's opinion, and the productivity for the team is down as well. And so for us, that's a big issue.
Okay, so what you're saying is that your people feel that you're controlling them a little bit too much because they have to punch in, or because their data is processed automatically?
Yeah, the way they have to go about doing it, there's something in the process that they don't like, and I think because we introduce something new, they probably they feel as though we did this because we don't trust them.
Okay. Well, just to come back to the first thing you mentioned, the problem with that you locked yourself out of the system, is that the way
that's
out?
minor.
Okay.
That's done now. You will have addressed that for little things like that going forward.
I do want to say that you can call me at any time. We also have a 24/7 hotline available. Yes. So if you want, I can send you a recap mail.
I have all that taken care of.
Okay, great. Because I really don't want you to lose any time on those particular technicalities.
Understood. No worries there.
Okay, then for the employees, that they have this feeling of not being trusted, is there any particular reason for that? Did you ask them?
It's to me it's 2 and 2 equals 4, right? We tell them you have a new way of implementing your payroll, and for them it's like, well, you don't. To us, it feels as though you didn't trust that the way we were manually entering it before. We were doing it honestly. That's the general feeling, I think.
Okay. Well, I do want to address that. Sorry, would you like
well, I would say, and then a second concern, separate from that issue altogether, would be that, as I mentioned, we've got the new branch opening up, and the cost that I'm spending with you guys, I'm starting to wonder whether or not, because it seems to be more than I originally anticipated, and that's eating into my operating budget.
Okay.
And it's out of my operating budget where I pay for the marketing of this new branch, and and Kim and I are talking about whether or not we should stop your service and utilize that money to go out and market the other branch.
Okay. Well, I'll first handle the problem with the employees, and then we'll talk more about the other issue you mentioned.
Sure.
So with the employees, I would really like to stress, and also towards them, we can also come and run them through the demo, because there's also for them a part of the demo that could be, they also have a login, and they have really a transparent look at their payroll as well. So you should really stress to them, or we can do this as well with you in cooperation, that it's not only for you. You gain more information, and you're more efficient, but they as well have more efficient ways of working. For instance, normally they call upon you to know your vacation days. I don't know if that happens or not. If they call,
They do, yeah. Good point.
So that's something that is going to happen much less, because if they log in with their password, you can say to them, or you can just enter manually what they can see. So how many vacation days they still have left, when can they take them, how many overhours have they done. So they really have a nice view of what they have done for the company and what the company will still do for them, in terms of rewards, but also in terms of vacation days. So for them, it's also a positive tool to work with. So we might just want to express this to them as well. And if we want, we can schedule a little workshop for them also to go through the program and just see their benefits for the program.
Okay, I like that. That sounds good.
Because the program's not about controlling the employees. It's actually more about you being efficient and then them being efficient as well.
Okay.
So we should just communicate this well, because maybe we haven't done this enough.
Okay.
So that could be a good solution, a good fit for you guys. Then for the new branch, I understand that you feel that it's a little costly. If you compare that with other prices, maybe that's what I.
No, I think more it's just before there was no expense. I was doing it, and now there is this cost, and I also now have the new cost of marketing this new location. And so you look for ways that you can cannibalize costs out of a fixed budget to go do this, and the ADP solution is what we thought of first.
So before you did it with manually, right? Which Excel sheet, and you also mentioned that before you had 12 hours. Yeah, I'm counting them up now, but you had 5 hours of taxation calculation and about 6 to 8 hours of payroll. So
that sounds accurate.
Let's be conservative and take 7. Well then, actually, I can quickly show you our ROI. I took this with me just in case. So if normally I have this on the computer, but I can still send you this. So if you take those hours, 7 hours for payroll and 5 hours for taxes, if you calculate this yearly, you see that you have 84 hours for payroll and 60 for taxes, which means that you actually in hours, because we have estimated an office manager hour, and the gross salary or hourly wage actually would be about $80. Would that be okay for you?
Well, that's a good basis, I guess.
And then we calculated this, and then we got 5,712 and 4,080 for those hours. So actually, if you count them up, you have $9,792 that you're paying yourself in this case to process it. So again, I understand also that you have an accountant doing your some extra legal benefit.
Part of that would be I didn't think about that, but yes, part of that would be part of the they would less now because of what you're doing. So I see that.
So we have, if we add this, because actually ADP signs off on all your tax and on all your payroll. So if there's anything wrong, we take the responsibility, we pay the fees. So actually you won't be needing the accountant anymore for the legal stuff and for the payroll and tax. So that would be something off your shoulders. Some
portion of that $4,500 that makes sense. Okay.
So if we then take the sum of this, we get roughly $14,000.
Roughly, because I wouldn't lose all the $4,500, but that's fine. I see what you're saying, and it makes sense.
And if you then calculate the cost of ADP itself, you see, now I cannot adapt it, so I'm so sorry for that.
No worries.
But I know that you have 22 employees. And then
we have 18 employees effective next week when we open the new building. 12 now, and then the 6 that will be starting, right?
Okay. Well then, you're in the. So you have 18 right now.
Yeah, I will have 18 next week for all intents and purposes.
Okay. So then now you're still in this category, which means you have $39.95 a month. In your case, a month, because you process monthly. So every time you process, you pay $39.95. So
and this is where I am right now as well, the 11 to 20. So what you're saying is, if the new employees.
Well, no. If you would be between 21 and 30, you would be in this category. But now you're in this one.
So I have 12, and I'm going to add 6. Yes. That's 18.
Yes.
So I think what you're telling me is what?
That you're in this category.
So I think what you're saying is, then I'm not going to pay more.
Excuse me?
I said, I think what I hear you saying is that I'm not going to pay more.
No, you mean for opening a new branch? No, you are, because actually I'm going to get you a nice overview of the price. Every time you open a new location, you pay separate separate processing fee, but you do not have to pay the implementation cost. So we make sure that you, since you're already up and running, you do not have to pay this, which is a big plus.
So my pay for the second location to use you guys is going to double. I'm going to be okay?
No, not at all. Not at all. So in the first one, you're here in the 38.95, and since the second one is between 0 and 5.
No, it's actually 6 and 10, right?
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, but was there one not who was working part-time?
No. It's all
okay, then it's between 6 and 10. You have 28.95 every time you process a payroll.
Okay.
So if you want, I can leave this to
Please do, yes.
and you can have this as well, but I can send you the information also in my recap mail for you tonight.
Yeah, that would be appreciated.
Okay. So maybe to wrap up this about the employees, would you maybe be interested in getting on board with the new employees with ADP Run Mobile?
Yes. Well, maybe a couple of things. So, all this makes good fiscal sense. But when I had my problem with the password, I started thinking about availability of my payroll processing, and when you need it, and when it's idle, then it's idle. So I started reading online about Twitter and Twitter having an outage and it not being available to them, and I started thinking, well, I have my payroll processing in the cloud now, and what happens when I need it if it's not available? I mean, because if Twitter can go down, then ADP can go down, right? And so I'm wondering a bit about what my risk is there.
Well, we at ADP, we've been in the business for 60 years, as you might know, and we are really proud of our technology. We're always reinvesting in technology, and that's one of our elements that we differentiate ourselves from the competitor is really we back your knowledge up. So your knowledge is safe with us. We don't own your knowledge or your information. It's your information, but we just back it up and we keep it safe. We're not nearly as big, of course, as Twitter. Twitter is all on the cloud. So, but we are a little smaller, but we do keep everything safe ourselves. So it's our browser, and so we can guarantee you that there is no risk there. We have never had any incidents, and since we're always investing in new technologies, we will never have problems of that kind.
Okay.
Does that address your?
Yeah. So I had one more question too. I mean, I did payroll, the one payroll that you're aware of that we've done so far, and no sooner did I hit the authorize button that somebody came in and there was a question about whether or not their hours were put in incorrectly, and I had already submitted payroll. As it turns out, I didn't have to change anything, but it raised another concern for me, and that concern was that what happens when I submit something for payroll and it's wrong and I want to make an edit to it, I need to change it. Am I charged every time that happens?
No, not at all. I will tell you just to guide you through it.
Okay.
You always have a preview of your payroll where you can check everything, and if there are any people that you would like to consult on this, or if there are any special changes, you can always consult people on the preview. So you have a very clear preview where you can check everything before you process your before you run your payroll, and then even after that you have an extra possibility. You have a normal payroll and a special payroll. So in that special payroll you can also adapt possible mistakes that have been made in the. And
there's no charge for that.
No.
Perfect. Okay. A hidden cost word. Okay, so that answers my question.
Okay, so on that notion, would you be interested in getting on board with for the new employees?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, great. Well then, what I propose is that we get a next meeting for to get everything started. I will also guide you again through the process. If there are any people, for instance Kim, who would also like to be there, I will guide you guys through the process, because I don't want you guys to be bothered to watch.
Sure.
Testimonials or anything, so I'll make sure that everything is in place, that all the fees are out of the way, and then we can get you up and running for even the next week if you want.
Sure. I'll take care of that on my end, but yes, that's next week would be good.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you for taking the time to see me today. It was great working with you again. Let's see each other. Oh, yeah, sorry. When would you like to meet for next time?
Tuesday on Wednesday is fine.
Okay. Well, what about Wednesday at 3?
3 o'clock is fine too.
Okay, I will see you at Wednesday true. Well, thank you very much. I
Thanks.
see you on Wednesday 3.
All right. Wow.
Wow, that was perfect timing.
Good job.